So what's the most important activity that's going to ensure that you harvest the 10% of transactions that's happening within your database or available within the relationships you currently have? It's what we call lead generation. And if you've been in our environment very long, you hear that often. And if you've studied anything Gary Keller teaches, you've heard that often. Lead generation is the life source of your business. And in order to get the leads at the top of the funnel, we have to be interacting with people. And there are multiple different ways to do it. And with social media, that's become a high point of interacting with folks that way. Whether we're face-to-face with someone and door knocking. Some people prefer door knocking because they like the face-to-face. Some it could be networking. It could be an efficient way is picking up the phone and talking to people. So I want to encourage you. You know, we started this whole series about the roller coaster, right? And we go up, come down, go up, we come down, because at the base of the roller coaster as it's going up is we didn't have any business, so we're lead generating, we're calling folks, we're hustling. Then we get the business, and then we don't have time to lead generate. So the importance is to consistently do it every day, 3 hours a day, 2 to 3 hours a day. You say, John, I can't even think about that. I get hives. Well, you want to build a significant business, you need to do it. Now, start 15 minutes a day. Every day, 15 minutes a day. Candidly, I personally need to improve my consistency in this area, full transparency. You say, well, man, I'm just not that self-disciplined. Well, here's the thing. Self-discipline is a myth. And another one of Gary's books, The One Thing, New York Times bestseller, great book about how we prioritize our time and the importance of our time. And one of the myths is that you have to be super self-disciplined. Well, the reality is you got to be self-disciplined until the habit takes over. So it starts with you needed a lot of discipline, and then as the habit takes over, then really you need very little self-discipline because the habit is now in place. So be committed to creating a habit, ideally in the morning, of lead generating every day, 5 days a week, 15 minutes at a minimum, and build up to several hours. Now, what does that time frame look like? Let's say you're doing 3 hours. Well, the first 30 minutes could be role play, practicing your dialogues with a partner, and preparing to make the calls. Do 2 hours of lead generation, new calls to new prospects, new people, and then the last half hour following up with people you've spoken to in the past that are waiting for you to follow up with them, right? Whether you spoke to them 2 weeks ago, or there might be a transaction you have to follow up on or inform a seller what's happening on the transaction. So be intentional with your time. This is the number one thing. If you do it consistently, that will determine the success of your business. And if you have a large database, that's the primary focus of your conversations. Now, it wouldn't be the only focus, it would be the primary focus. And then they would lead you to referrals of other prospects and other opportunities. And then you need to find 2 or 3 other fillers of sources of leads for listings. Now, we talked about the 36 touch, we talked about segmenting your database, we talked about all of these things. Now, if you're not communicating, if you're not physically speaking to them at least 4 times, you got a problem. You're limiting, you might be getting business from them. You're also donating a lot of business to other realtors in the community. We appreciate your generosity, but why don't you get it and then you can donate the money to who you want to? Isn't that a better idea? So let's get to it. Lead generate, minimum of 15 minutes a day, and then you build from there. You want to build a muscle, build a habit, create the habit that will fund the predictable life so you can fulfill your goals and dreams. And yes, you will be living passionately.